Let's get more on this now with Marium Kamal, an assistant professor at the University of the Punjab's Centre for South Asian Studies. Welcome back to the programme, Marium. Now, India is ramping up imports from Venezuela. Do you see this as a permanent shift away from Middle East dependence or just a short-term workaround?
Yes, that's true. I can see that there is a move. India is moving from their traditional suppliers, oil suppliers, to the new and aspects or new suppliers. There are multiple reasons if we analyze the situation of India, where India is buying around 12 million barrels, or which is the highest in the 6 years from the South American nations. Because if we analyze it, because number one, the Middle Eastern conflict. India used to import around 40% oil from the Middle Eastern countries, the closure of Strait of Hormuz, and the conflict, the political instability or the war. The situation is so fragile and volatile in the Middle East that India is shifting from the traditional imports to and exploring new ventures, especially from Venezuela. The second point is that comes under the policy of Washington appeasement as well, because initially US imposed around 50% tariff on India when India was buying or taking importing oil from Russia. After that, it was lowered to 18% when India decided to withdraw its imports from Russia and promised that they will shift their imports towards Venezuela. And so that was the second reason, I believe. The third aspect, which I can mention here, that this push is led by the Reliance Group to buy this Mary blend from Venezuela, which is around 12 million. This blend is basically they have different facilities at Jamnagar, which which has a very sophisticated refinery system, which can help them, and they're buying or importing this oil under the US license. So there are three aspects. And lastly, I believe that to counter Pakistan's policy, because Pakistan basically has built successfully a very good nexus between Islamabad and Washington. So basically, here, beside this oil or the crude blend need in this situation, this volatile situation, India is also trying to counterbalance Pakistan's political ascendance and nexus with Washington.
And Mariam, how compatible is Venezuela's heavy crude with Indian refineries compared to Middle Eastern grades? And does that create any operational challenges for India?
As I said or mentioned, that Reliance Group is basically leading this push. And they have a very sophisticated refinery system in Jamnagar. This facility supports, so the crude oil or the Mary blend of Venezuela can be treated and is balanced with the Indian refinery system. Basically, and it's also discounted in price, which is around $15 per barrel. So definitely it is very helpful and well calculated.
Marium Kamal, assistant professor at the University of the Punjab, thank you very much for joining us.